And we're live.
Welcome back here, folks, to the 21st episode of The Corner. Today we will be discussing quite a few different things, but mainly we are going to get into something interesting that we have never discussed before.
Beer
Antarctica.
Tawil.
Yeah, man.
And you can
So
explain what that is.
why don't you start us out, man?
Okay, so actually, for this episode, we have a very specific topic in mind for you guys. It's something that we literally just stumbled across, something that I actually was thinking about over the weekend, which is there a spot of land on this earth that has not been claimed yet? And after a little bit of research that I did just tonight, actually, I came across a little particular spot of land that is located between Egypt and Sudan, which is called Bir Tawil. And I don't know, man. Maybe that's enough introduction for now. We will maybe discuss it a little bit soon, but maybe you can say a little bit of your take on this.
Well, I just find it weird that there is actually unclaimed land in the
Yeah,
world. You
yeah.
know, I would have assumed that that somebody would have claimed it and been like my land, my land, my land.
Yeah, especially
Uh,
considering how far along we are with map exploration. I mean, America was already discovered in the late 15th century, and pretty much the whole world was already mapped out by the end of the 19th century. So
yeah,
actually, no, the whole world is mapped was mapped
I
out, and it
I
also is today. So yeah.
I can understand why there is unclaimed land in Antarctica, but I don't understand why there would be unclaimed land in between Egypt and Sudan. That's what you said, right?
But we can get into that a little later. There's a lot of reasons for this.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's talk a little bit about a little bit more about this claiming and why it is so fascinating to talk about these days. Why do you think that is?
Well, because we have seen examples of this also in modern age. I mean, just a couple of years ago, Putin annexed and claimed the half island or peninsula of Crimea in Ukraine,
Yeah,
and pretty much just moved Russian forces across the border and said this is Russian territory now. Um, so this is also like happening in our age with that, and then and this in the same time, or now at least, you have China trying to claim and acquire Hong Kong. Like
yeah.
they are itching on the borders of Hong Kong to move over and claim that as their own.
But I was
Um,
thinking more of the reasoning behind why someone would ask the question, "Where's the land? Is there any more land that is not claimed?"
Human
Um,
greed, human greed,
yeah, exactly. Human
right?
greed, but also not that's the only like part of it. But the other thing is like the adventuring, the explore, the lust of humans to adventure and explore, which has driven society for centuries, actually. Which was a very big driving factor back in the Middle Ages.
Yes, it
Um,
is. It is.
and
But we
and that
didn't.
is
We
all
did.
gone now because the world
We
has been mapped
didn't.
out. There's no more
It's
adventure
been
these
mapped. It's
days.
been mapped out, but we didn't actually go around and like claim land
No, no,
in
we didn't.
this
No, it
this
was a
like
gradual process.
for instance, when the Vikings went to Spain,
Mm.
it wasn't to claim any land. It was simply to explore new cultures, new land, and fight. Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
that's why they want that, because like that's what the Vikings were looking for. Like they were farmers, they were adventurers, and they were warriors.
And most of the reasoning for exploring and adventuring was to just find gold. I mean, find treasures that would
Yeah,
make them rich.
yeah.
Uh, that was partly for religious reasons, of course, like they making sacrifices to the Norse gods, to Odin and Thor and those people.
There was a couple of settlements that they're actually like settled, like Iceland. Iceland
Yeah,
was settled by Vikings, but Iceland was settled by the outcasts of Vikings.
yeah, yeah.
You know, the ones that were like banned from like ever returning to Norway or Denmark or Sweden
But
or any
still,
of like these.
that was still a lot more difficult times because it was not very official claiming. I mean, you know, there could easily have come some other tribe of Vikings that could have made war upon them and
Yeah,
then claimed
yeah,
that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Uh,
It's that
and
this.
and I
Yeah.
would actually say that as the landmass, the landmass the unclaimed landmass, as that shrinked in and became less over the course of history, the amount of wars have also increased. I mean, actually, that's actually an interesting diametral opposition that you have there. The amount of land mass there is, if that shrinks, then the wars decrease, and of course that's logical because like if there are more people, then there will be more wars as well over land because people need places to stay. So
Yeah,
it's really that simple.
for sure,
Um,
for sure. It is that simple.
but now
But
the times that we're living in today, we're getting more and more peace, and people are even countries and civilizations are settling in more and more, and are not at war with each other. So now we're at total peace, and there's no more wars even, which
well,
means everything
there is
is.
wars going on today, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But
That
even that is going to die out. I'm pretty sure of that.
no, no.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think there will always be wars going on.
Nah, man, I'm not sure of that because
Either for
war at the core, at the essence of it, war is a kind of unnatural phenomenon that only exists on a national or international level. Like it has nothing.
there has never
War has never something to do with at least like politically motivated war. It has never some.
there has never been a full year in the world where there has not been any wars.
Yeah, but like that is just because because we're still in that uncertain time where we still need to like iron out details. Like I believe there will come a time, I think probably 2300 or something, where we will have managed a lot more of this, and where there will simply be no more reason for war because there will be other problems that will be much more pungent than fighting over land. I believe I believe in that, even though I don't
Well,
have much basis for that. But yeah,
in the year 2300, we will still be fighting wars. Maybe not for land, but for resources.
no. But
Yeah.
there, no.
And also you gotta like think that 300 years from now, we will be somewhere between 30 and 40 billion people on Earth.
No. The population curve is going to flatten out eventually. It's going to like get stuck at 11 billion. I
And but
read
like,
up on that recently.
just imagine it if it was like 30 billion people on Earth,
Yeah.
and um, and we have scarcity scenario where there is like a shit ton of minerals and stuff which is like really rare and there's really little of, and we have a 50% unemployment rate, and we have a colonized planet of Mars and possibly a colony on Moon as well. Plus, way more, asteroid or and asteroid mining has become a fact with space stations and shit hosting workers.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, how I see that is that Earth would maybe like be in control, but it would still be somewhat chaos because you would still have crime. You would still have people that was desperate because they aren't doing anything, and then they get restless, and then they become all aggro. You can see that on all those protests and shit going on in the U.S. where they turn violent because they're aggro
Yeah, but
and they're
that's not
aggro.
wars. That's not wars. That is not
It is the
politically
beginning,
motivated wars by a country.
the
That is
beginning,
just rebellions.
the
I
beginning of
mean,
a war.
when I talk about wars here, I don't mean revolutions led by people. I mean literally declared war by one country and another by a political government, like in the First and the Second
Oh,
World War, and
okay,
like the
okay.
Americans on Iraq when for oil. But you know what? I gotta say, man, I think that is. I truly believe that was a single unique instance because of what we've already talked about earlier in our podcasts, because of this aggressive fueled United States of America that has risen to power faster than any other country before. Like the US is the youngest country in the world, maybe with the exception for Germany. It is the second most youngest country in the world, and it has risen
No,
to power so fast that it was fucking power greedy for oil, and then it created that war, and
yeah.
and I believe that actually fucked up many of these other wars that we see today with Syria and with Lebanon and all these other shit things that's going on.
I want to correct you and say the youngest country in the world has to be Israel, since Israel was territory
No, no,
given.
what the frick are you talking about,
Yeah,
man? Israel. Have you ever heard a little thing about Judaism, or the Jews, and the Jews that were led by Moses out of Egypt? That is
I
one of
know.
the
Yeah, I
oldest
know that.
countries in the
But
world.
Israel was still like pull it up, man, pull it up. Israel was territory given to the Jews as restitution for World War II, and it was like issued to them in like the late 50s.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, 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 but
So
that's like just a formality. The country of Israel has existed for thousands of
no,
years. Yes,
it was called Palestine before it was called Israel. And then
no,
the Jews moved in and then they kicked all the Palestinians out. So all the Palestinians have left now is that like small strip that you call Gaza. And that's why they're also pissed off launching rockets on Israeli soil.
yeah, we gotta check this out, man, because this
Yeah,
is wrong. This is factually wrong.
this is factually correct.
Formerly known as the State of Israel, is a country in Western Asia located blah 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 Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, whatever. Whatever. It has land borders with Lebanon to the north, Syria to the northeast, Jordan on the east, the Palestinian territories of the West Bank and Gaza Strip to the east and west. Palestine is a completely other country. That is a Muslim country that is located to the west of Israel. Not it. It wasn't Israel. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Jesus, are you drunk?
It was Israel.
You're drunk?
It was Israel. No, I'm not wasted.
Another
It
host.
was.
A host of the corner is drunk.
No. Here, man. State of Israel proclaimed in 1948, meaning that the state of Israel is only 72 years old.
Okay, so that's the state, but
Yeah.
the people, the Jews, have existed for way more. And whether you want to label that with the term Israel or just fucking a collection of Jews, I really don't like. That's really the same in my opinion.
Now we are on the same page, man.
Yeah, but
We're on the same
that's
page.
really, in my opinion, that's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they have so the state has been proclaimed there, but the people of this country, Israel, fucking country that has been proclaimed in 48, the people have existed for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
But compared to Americans as a people, like the rebellions that were immigrating to the U.S., they have only existed for 200 years or 300 years
because they were bloodthirsty Englishmen settling in America.
Yeah,
and then thinking, why do we need to pay taxes to the Queen when she is all the way across the pond?
Yeah. And of course, Germany. I said that Germany was also like a young state, but those people have also existed for longer. Of course, that goes way back to the Germanics in 750. Even before that, even 500. So Germans have existed much longer too. But the Americans, like, I'm not talking about the English people who lived in Britain under the royal queen. I'm talking about the rebels that moved away and repopulated over in America. Those guys have existed, and that's why I claim that the US is the youngest country on Earth, and that's why they were blood-fueled and attacked Iraq, and that's why it's probably not going to happen again, because there's no other countries that will ever be as large as the US, as long as the US is still in power.
I am also like thinking that it has to cost a tremendously big amount of money to go to war.
Yeah, exactly. And no other country, like, let's say there's a bunch of rebels in give me a country.
Let's just say Afghanistan.
Yeah, let's say there's a bunch of rebels in Afghanistan that say, no, fuck this country. We will emigrate to some far-off place and be blood-fueled like the Americans and start our own civilization and get them and make our own most buffed-up country on the planet.
They would all be instantly killed.
But
today.
No, actually, I don't think so. But also, the more important question is, where would they go to?
Yeah, where would they go to?
Because there's no new continent they can discover where they can thrive as much as the Americans have thrived in the American continents.
Yeah, but like, let me get this straight. Like, we're like talking about places where there has been people for a long time, right? So we can't say that Cuba is a new country, even though Fidel Castro went there with like 80 guys in the 50s to take it over.
And also, imagine, Cuba is much too small to do any sort of... My point here is simply, like, is there going to be another country that is going to rise up blood-fueled with the size of America and start robbing oil everywhere in the world?
No,
that is not possible as long as the U.S. is still as powerful as they are.
But we could easily see in the next couple of 100 years that the world will consist of like something like 2 or 3 unions.
Yeah,
If you could
yeah,
follow me.
but a union is not a blood fueled, Western
Country.
driven,
No,
oil greedy American fap country that wants war. A
no.
union, especially in the EU, is just like a peaceful collection of countries.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then they want to make deals rather than going to war because
Yeah,
they would understand that you can't actually make money on a war considering the enormously high amount of money it would cost.
yeah,
Because if
exactly.
you choose, like, imagine it. I don't know the numbers. We can Google it later. But I would like imagine something like that. The war in Iraq and Afghanistan has costed billions of dollars a month,
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah,
not if not like a week,
yeah.
because you have like, what did they have? Like they had like 500,000 U.S. troops deployed in that country, which is insane. 500,000 troops
Yeah.
deployed in a country, and like just
Oh yeah,
imagine the
I
trend.
just pulled it up here on Google. According to a congressionalist budget office, to a congressional budget office, I don't know what that is, report published in October 2007, the U.S. wars in Iraq and Afghanistan could cost taxpayers a total of 2.4 trillion
Yeah, yeah,
dollars by
yeah. That's
2017, including
that
interest.
that's a little over what Apple's net worth is.
You know what that is as well? That is
What?
fucking. That is fucking. I just read this. You guys can Google that on YouTube. The total wealth of America is 54 trillion. You can Google what was it? Welfare distribution in the U.S. and then you'll get a nice video of a graph showing the welfare distribution in the U.S. That's shocking
Yeah,
news as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I remember that.
But yeah, like the total welfare in the U.S. is 54 trillion. So let's just calculate that real quick. 2.4 trillion on wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Uh,
And this is all the worth of like America and private wealth, right?
yeah.
And we're now talking like 2.3 trillion of government money.
No.
Oh,
50. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, right,
yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. You're true.
So,
You're correct.
yeah, holy crap, man.
Yeah, so
Like,
that will be
like I will.
4.5% of the
The
entire
total
wealth
wealth.
of the total wealth in America will go to wars.
Yeah,
What the fuck, man?
yeah, it's crazy. But like, imagine it. It's just like madness. If you, why would you need to wage war against a country on the other side of the freaking planet? They did the same shit
Yeah,
with Vietnam in the late 60s, early 70s.
because they're blood fueled. They're fueled by a rage against the queen still,
Yeah,
and
but
because
there wasn't
that's in their blood. It's in their
there
blood.
wasn't there was there wasn't even any minerals in Vietnam that they were taking, but still,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there was.
but still, that's the angry, aggressive American spirit, which is still in their nature, or is
That
still in
is
in the country's nature.
that
Uh,
is absolutely crazy. I mean, like, imagine you're the president and you're like, hey, we're waging war against that country and deploying 500,000 troops and sending in 500 bomber planes and
yeah.
helicopters, setting up bases and stuff. And like, this is another thing. Um, do you know how many bases, military bases, the U.S. has outside of America?
A lot. A freaking lot. I could pull it up, but a lot.
It's over 20,000.
Yeah, yeah.
20,000 bases around the world. And like I can like only mention like a few, like Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, um,
Yeah.
and the Okinawa Navy or Marine base in Japan. And I
Yeah.
think that's like all I know about. So holy shit, man. And
Listen.
imagine the cost of that machinery.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The fuck, man.
Like, it's a complete madness if you ask me. Um,
But then again, at least they are not being utilized for war as they shouldn't. They're just used for. I mean, actually, they're just used for defensive, like just to secure that nobody ever like turns out to be as aggressive as America self was
yeah,
back in the
yeah, yeah,
seven
but
in
I'm
the in
I'm
the six, in the 18th century.
I'm still glad that we have them because they are the constant to Russia, and they are the
Yeah, it is.
constant to countries like China,
But
like
the good
keeping.
the good thing about Russia and China is they have their history has always been stationary. They're not a bunch of blood fueled, angry immigrants who settled and rebelled against
You
the
know,
queen.
it's no,
They have always
they
been more like submissive or like more underdogs, if you will. So I don't.
well, I don't know. Like China has been pretty blood-filled, like back in the Mongol era, where the Mongols were like controlling empire was like controlling a lot. You could pull
Yeah,
that up on a map. Then
but
then that
that's
fucking then that fucking empire was stretching from China to Europe, man.
yeah, but
All
that's a longer time ago than the U.S. So that's but yeah, you I mean you have a point there. Actually, you have a point.
so like we have seen them in like history.
Yeah,
But yeah, and like not, of course, like that's a way longer time ago than America.
yeah.
Um,
But
but still,
we actually got quite off topic here, didn't we?
yeah. So we were like talking a little bit about these. Places with unclaimed land,
Yeah,
and
and so the reason why that's what I wanted to like actually say there in the beginning before we got drifted off. Our the reason why this Bir Tawil region, which is by the way just mere 2,060 square kilometers big, is completely landlocked and uninhabited, is because there's a region that is called the Halal or no the Halaib Triangle, which is just next to it actually, which is much more desirable, and it is located just next to the Red Sea as well. So that is a much more desirable place for either Egypt or the Sudan to occupy, and right now it's occupied by Egypt. Um, because like of course it's much better to have land close to the sea, because then there's much more, first of all you can have seafaring traffic with boats and shit. You can have fishing, and there will also be much more fauna growing. Like in this region called what was it called again? Bir Tawil. There's literally nothing. It's just desert.
damn, that's crazy, man.
And like I'm pulling it up on Google here as we speak. You see, there's actually people that have driven there with their own, I think it's homemade flags, and pretending like they're claiming it because it's unclaimed. There's some dude here, probably Egyptian or Sudanese, who's sitting in his car with a flag and just saying like, "Yeah, I own the land." That's probably those jokes they make with it. But yeah, as you can see, there's nothing going on here, and there's like here you can see there's a carcass laying There's literally nothing. So what would you want with that? I mean, you could say that, of course, why has nobody claimed this place just to own this land? But you gotta also realize that this is very close to two countries that would want to claim it if they had the resources for it. So if there's someone else coming in there, they might say, "Yeah, but why are you? No, you can't claim this because it's right next to us." But they simply haven't claimed it because it's too much work. Like,
So if you were to show up with an army of mercenaries, you could pretty much just say, "This is Troy Tortuga land now."
theoretically, yes, but I think the Egyptian or Sudanese military would be much stronger and outnumber me.
Well, it depends on how big of an army you show up with.
Nah, no private army can wrestle with a public army of a country. That's what I still believe.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't know. Like, and you would have to be real. Nah, I don't know. I don't think it's possible. And plus, you also got what you're forgetting is that Egypt and Sudan have treaties with their neighboring countries and probably with the U.S. as well. And as soon as they start getting in there, then you have lost already. Then
Yeah, that's true.
then you're basically Hitler during the Second World War.
Yeah, at the end. At the end.
Yeah.
At the end. Yeah.
Nah, it was doomed already from the beginning. He was just too delusional to recognize the failure.
Yeah, I have to say that their Untergang is a great movie.
Yeah. It
Like
really.
showing how he fucking lost it progressively, like the
Yeah.
closer they got to the end. Because at the end he was like saying, "I got armies, I got military, I got rocket bases or whatever," right? But he didn't have shit. He was just so delusional that he still thought that he had all this shit.
But he was already delusional before the Second World War even started. I mean, a guy who spent 2 years in prison writing a book that's called Mein Kampf cannot really be that mentally stable in his head.
No, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, I don't really think he was that. I mean, he was clever, of course, and no doubt
Yeah.
about that. But he was not really. He was already delusional before the Second World War started.
Yeah. What were we saying? We were like talking about also like that Antarctica is also unclaimed territory.
Oh yeah, actually,
And
that's
like
true.
at first that didn't make any sense. Like most of Antarctica is claimed by
Yeah.
a bunch of like different countries
But
such as Norway.
specifically, what we're talking about here is Mary Bird Land, which is an area of 1.61 million kilometers squared.
Okay, so that's like half the size of Alaska.
Yeah.
That's unclaimed. But still, like that still like has like a bunch of resources in it, because like Antarctica has a shitload of resources like coal, gold, cobalt, chromium, nickel, titanium, uranium, zinc.
Yeah.
Right. But at first it didn't make sense to me, because like when you research it, you can see that there is no commercial mining operations going on in Antarctica. And then why? Apparently, it is because there is some kind of treaty in place
Yeah.
that makes
The Antarctic Treaty.
yeah, which is making mining currently and completely banned by the Antarctic Treaty until 2048.
Wow, 2048.
Yeah,
So
we
that's gonna be interesting when that year comes around. What's gonna happen then?
when we come close to that, if we will see some industrial magnets just starting to like ship materials to build mining bases and mining operations on Antarctica.
Yeah.
Because that I think like that would happen, since like a lot of these minerals, especially cobalt, is a scarcity already today. It's a scarcity item to come by, or mineral to come by, and it's used in
Yeah,
your phone. It's used in
yeah,
your phone, right?
yeah. It
So
is.
definitely that, and also there's a lot of oil in Antarctica,
Yeah,
but I don't see. I would like hope and presume that in 2048 we are completely free from oil.
yeah. I mean,
If you
yeah, definitely. Like with the current rate that the renewable energies are coming ahead, I would
yeah,
say. I'd say it's a pretty good guess, but you never
I
know.
mean,
I mean,
already now 40%, 40 to 50% of all cars in Norway is electric.
yeah, yeah,
But it's done with like purpose, because for one, gas is enormously high priced in Norway. It's like higher than Denmark.
yeah,
And you use more of the fuel in Norway because of all the hills and cringy roads and shit.
yeah.
So eventually, you will figure when living there that like, oh shit, maybe I should get myself an electric car instead of spending something like $10,000 a year on fuel, right?
Yeah, that's definitely worth, and it's going to. I mean, it's going to get even more, even bigger that dilemma in the future, as renewable energies take over more and more,
Yeah,
and fossil fuels become more and more limited.
and
Because
you know,
as we can see here, yeah, you can say what you want.
like an interesting part here is that the more renewable energy is going to become focus, the more we will see like renewable energy cars, like electric cars and stuff like. And we're already seeing that it's no longer only Tesla. Now Mercedes and BMW and a bunch of like other car brands is also pumping out completely 100% electric cars, right?
Yeah,
And the more this is happening, and the more cars of those that are being sold, that the fossil industry or oil industry will be pushed, and we will see the oil price go up, and we will see the gas prices go up as a consequence to that.
yeah.
And then we will see the counter, that more people will also think, then okay, you're pushing the gas prices, I'm also going electric. So yeah, man, eventually the oil industry will get killed, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up here, like from the sources, statistical review of world energy 2016, where we have where we have coal, natural gas, and oil in percentage, where we have, but I don't know like what.
Can you send me the link?
Yeah. Where we have I don't know if that's percentage or what, but then of course, as you can see, the coal is what we have the most of,
Yeah.
and then natural gas, and then oil as the
Oh
least.
no, this is the RP ratio. It means that what you're seeing is how many years left of production we have of coal before
Yeah,
it's gone, completely like vanished.
yeah,
Like 52 years left of natural gas and 50 years of oil. But you see, like that 50 years of oil, I think it's going to be more than that, probably like closer to 100, as we will like phase into that and move into getting electric cars.
yeah, definitely.
And then like the last thing that we will see still like using oil or like fossil fuel will probably be planes and cargo ships and ferries.
Yeah, especially with a guy like Elon Musk, who always seems to be pushing like stuff onto the
Yeah,
market,
uh,
and being like, we gotta go green, we gotta go green, we gotta go green.
But yeah,
and that's very important. That's very important.
but you
So
see that right? That like cargo ships will be the last cargo ship, but cruise ships will be the last ships, or like last things to go green, because it just requires such a massive amount of force to push these things across the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean,
yeah,
right? And a cargo ship that is like having thousands of containers aboard it, it spends about hundred something $1,000 a day on the fuel.
yeah. Wow.
That's a shit ton, right?
Yeah.
Imagine filling
Yes.
that thing up like, yeah, I gotta fill this up full tank. Yeah, that's gonna be like a couple of $1 million,
Wow.
closer to like $2 million or $3 million or something, because it takes like 20 days for one of these beasts, probably more, to cross the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
So they burn a lot. And if you like Google and like you see the CO2 outtake from like one of these monsters, it is far, far, far higher than any car. Than any
Yeah.
car.
But then again,
So
it's also kind of necessary because planes can't carry that much, and trains can't cross the Atlantic Ocean. So,
yet,
well,
yet, yet, like the
what?
if
What? Do
they
you know
ever
something I don't?
if they when they manage to like complete like this hyperloop technology and
The
build these
hyperloop is not for trains. Hyperloop is for people.
hyperloop is also going to be for train.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, if I can Google that.
hyperloop, Google hyperloop train,
Wow. Yeah,
which
but
can move
that's what I'm talking about, man. Elon Musk, the creative, everlasting genius, who does never run out of ideas and energy to make the world better.
Oh,
Wow.
Musk will save us all,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
We
yeah.
will create that hyperloop thing, and then then we'll get like trains across the oceans moving at 1,000 kilometers an hour, which is actually faster than a plane.
Wow,
Cruise,
yeah.
cruising speed of a plane is like about 600 to 800 kilometers an hour.
Hmm.
So
And plus,
so
Hyperloop train is like it is epic to carry cargo as well
because the weight will be moving in
no,
zero
no,
g.
sorry,
Wait,
my brain was glitching there. No, what I wanted to say was like the right now, as it's not tested yet, you could actually already now put cargo on Hyperloop because it's just cargo. So, like as long as it's not like explosives or anything, you could already start transporting it now.
yeah,
Because there already are Hyperloop tracks available.
yeah, for testing.
Yeah, for testing. Yeah, but my point is like where they have them, they could already transport some cargo now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will definitely be the future. Definitely, I'm convinced of it.
How
Definitely.
are we on? How are we on time?
Yeah, we're on 46, so we can probably start ending it now.
All right, guys. Then I'm going to end it here. This was like a really interesting conversation with you, Troy.
Yeah,
So
I thought so too, with a little bit of a specific topic instead.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, comment if you like this very
yes,
specific topic.
comment, like, share, subscribe, subscribe, and subscribe, my followers. That was
The usual subscriber begging.
yeah. Did you? I don't know if you've ended it yet, but like
No.
if you haven't, then have you seen like like what I wrote under the description of that exempt I read from John Grisham?
No, I haven't read that.
Like I'm writing in the description under, I am saying a small exempt from the book Ford County that I am currently reading. Comment and subscribe to motivate me to read and upload more. So I will like relay the same message here. Comment and subscribe so I
Yeah.
can motivate myself and Troy here to make more material for you guys to listen to.
Well, I don't need that personally because I'm just doing this for the chills, for the funs. But
Yeah,
my good host here, Patrick, he really needs the encouragement to keep going.
need the confidence boost, folks.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Until next time, folks. Peace out.